It's water. Green and red.
We might have did it backwards.
They'll find it.
That's a lot of food. Yeah.
Yes, Toronto is where City of Rocks. We had a volunteer named Fred Hyder. He was from Toronto, yeah. No, we go.
We had 2 good rainstorms.
Come up.
As long as you're shopping,
I don't know if you were
So, one of the other things that I find very intriguing of this man is that when I first came to Pancho Villa and saw the new museum, I don't know, I was blown away. Let me just start there. I was blown away by the exhibits. I was proud to be a park ranger. I was proud to be an employee of the division because I was like, man, they went to great lengths to get the story told properly. We have a plane in there, we have a tank. No way, this is awesome. But not John. John said, oh, it's pretty good, but there's a lot of empty space on those walls. And one person would think, man, this is magnificent, this is great already. And John, of course, being John, he said, no way. Too much space on the walls, a lot of untold story. And so if you go through the museum now, had you gone in there when it first opened up, totally different. Lots of new information on those walls. There's hardly any wall space now. And that was just from the great dedication and the passion to tell the complete story. When I talk to John, he tells me, man, it's fascinating. It's not as fascinating as quantum physics. Have you had the quantum physics talk with him? He really lights up then, but we're pretty dang close with Pancho Villa history. And then came Camp Furlong days. When the Camp Furlong event took place, still in the park, John was always pushing the envelope to get the big names in entertainment, to get the big authors and historians to talk about the site, and he took it to, he got some good folks. There's a lot of, for those of you, and I found it very, very shocking, have not been to Pancho Villa in the museum, but when you go through there later on, you're going to reach a little segment from the Friends Group. Thank you, Friends Group. There's a lot of books for sale from various historians. Every author of those books have sat here and told their piece on the history during these Camp Furlong events. And that is a direct, that possibility was made by John. So his work is all over this place. He did all of that as a heritage educator, took great pride. But then in 2012, the park fell under new direction and alerted John to make his next move. The staff here, they know, they're even cringing right now. They're like, I know, I remember 2012.
Years after the meeting.
But listen, I even put a little asterisk right here. Those are personnel matters, so we'll just move on. But there's a great quote from General Pershing that best describes it, I think. A competent leader can get efficient service from poor troops Well, on the contrary, an incapable leader can demoralize the best of troops. So maybe always messing with those quotes and all the history and stuff, that settled right in, and he became the park manager thereafter. So thank you, General Pershing, maybe? So after he became the park manager, John still helped out with Camp Furlongs, and like he always did and always has, continues to find some of the best speakers for the event. That educational portion is now held in the museum, and the rest of the event is held in the plaza. So, we talk about this passion, and again, it's hard to describe. Some of us have it in various forms and stuff, but there's a passion for work, and a lot of us may have passion for other stuff, such as extracurricular activities after work, but this passion is just not one that he demonstrates to me alone. It's the entire community. It's these researchers, these authors that open up to not only John, but now have opened up their services up to the park. And we have a much larger exhibit hall. We have more exhibits. And I'm going to get into that a little bit here, but the point I wanted to make here is everybody recognizes this. Everybody recognizes this, and I thank you for that. Thank you very much. And it's not just those historians and stuff that make this place a little bit more special every time they contribute to the history and we uncover another episode of what went on here. But even the Villa family felt this connection with John and had felt his trust, and that he was going to take care of business. And well, again, for those of you that are going to take the tour after this, you'll see the death mask from Pancho Villa that was donated by the Villa family last March during the Camp Furlong days. And that trust was perfect and made perfect sense to me, because several days later, just like the family wished, John already had it on display telling that story. So, again, thank you for doing all that other stuff. And even if you went to the Smithsonian, you would not find more information than you would coming here to this park with all the stuff that we have. So again, thank you very much for that. I'm pretty proud of that too. I'm going to try to express that all the time. We're going to actually use that as an advertisement, some type of slogan to get people off of the highway someday. This building is a nice place to have this event. John has a lot of his programming in here, and that's why the dark blinds and stuff like that. But one thing that he has done, and just recently, and we will continue with those efforts, and I'll give you my word on that, and we'll continue it the next year and continue to apply for some special grant funding to restore historic structures such as the rec hall that we're in right now. As you can imagine, it takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of money. So we're hoping to continue with that and again reapply in the years to come, if that's as long as it takes. So, John, please feel assured that us three, you notice us, I said us three here, are going to make sure that continues. There's also a collection from a local researcher, author, and artist, Rackesee. Now, Rackesee has now passed, but he was very famous for all this extensive research of the Revolutionary War and stuff, and is well respected in that community. Another professor went to an estate sale and purchased a lot of this gentleman's collection, the Rackesee collection, and spent a pretty healthy fortune, from my understanding, a small fortune maybe. But instead of just hoarding all that information, again, I strongly believe, because of the connections that John has made throughout the years, he donated that collection. And we have it here at the park. And it comes with a little bit of stipulations as well. It's there for future researchers to continue to find pieces of the puzzle to make more connections and more discoveries of the great history that took place in this community many years ago. So we now have that. And when I asked John, when John was telling me this, he says, "Isn't it amazing? That's just awesome." And then he follows up with, "Did you know?" And then one of the last exhibits that John just recently helped retrieve back to the exhibit hall here is the 48 star flag. It's in pretty awesome condition. I'm using your words. Awesome. Awesome condition. It's beat up. It's not beautiful. It's not perfect. It has been through battle. And so I'm not going to be a spoiler, but that's a good way of saying I don't know the whole story. But please, John already has a story and a little piece to the exhibit that can educate you of what's going on there. So thank you very much for that. It's a great piece in addition to the exhibit. So, like the history of this remarkable site, I am glad, John, that you are now part of that history here. So, please enjoy this milestone and enjoy your retirement.
Thanks.
And we have this plaque from the division that I will present to you now. And of course, it's his retirement plaque for his years of service. Here's also
Spelled my name wrong.
here's also a little card from the staff and a little gift card for you as well. I don't think that it will get you all the way to Switzerland, but it might be a good start. So, of course,
Yeah.
So of course, I'm going to be done here in just moments, and then we'll. John, if you feel the urge to get up and say some words, I'll leave that up to you as well as others. But I had to find one more quote. There's so much history here, and I try to find things that kind of went with the theme of retirement. And so this last quote, I'll leave you with that. It's from Emiliano Zapata. The land free for all without overseers and without masters.
Yeah.
I think on Saturday you don't have anybody to report to.
Oh, yeah.
All right, thank you, John.
But I did have a blast working for state parks, and especially with Junior Martine, and I think Skeeter is doing a wonderful job as the regional manager. I mean, he's got his tractor, he's got his dumpsters, I mean, it's unbelievable the stuff that he's got that we would never have asked for in the past, and he's really taking good care of us. I mean, the list goes on, but I'm a little bit nervous. Probably had too much caffeine, and I can't really. So what else was it, Junior Martine?
I don't know, Ellie, maybe you should tell us about quantum physics.
Don't get him started.
Okay, so I'll just get into quantum entanglement. I'm just kidding, so. But anyway, I really do appreciate you guys all coming down and all this nice stuff here, and the great food, and Hector making all the, and you guys, I know you guys all pitched in to do this, and the volunteers and everything, so. And to do this, and the volunteers and everything, so. All I can say is thanks. I mean, I've had a great time here, and I really appreciate everything, and now I get to go do other stuff, and maybe I can work at the Large Hadron Collider in Switzerland. Who knows? We'll see if that happens.